Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna be recording a video on Child of Light. This game is made by Ubisoft, and I think Ubisoft's indie team that they have. Obviously Ubisoft's a big company and they have a small indie team which make a few games. I think Rayman and this. I think they use the same graphics engine also. So yeah. I'm just checking the sound's okay. I have already completed this game, but I feel like it lends to ASMR really well. But there's a short introduction here, so I won't talk for it. Let you listen to it.
Child, tuck yourself in bed and let me tell a story of Lemuria, a long-lost kingdom, and a girl born for glory. In Austria was a crown land ruled by a duke. Aurora was his daughter, child of a duchess mysterious, beloved by her father. He raised the girl alone. They were rarely apart, till the duke felt lonely and misplaced his heart. It was the Great Friday before Easter 1895. Players performed for the duke, his new bride at his side. That night Aurora went to sleep. The fire burned down low. She caught a chill that spread. Her skin was cold as snow. At dawn they found her, vacant, Aurora's light gone out. Her father wept and pleaded, but there could be no doubt. For all intents and purposes, Aurora was dead. And yet, once upon a time, she awoke in a strange land instead.
So that just sets the tone and premise for the game, and then you pretty much in the game straight away. And you play as Aurora, is the princess here. And I love the art style of this game so much. I'm gonna be reading out the dialogue, by the way, not the dialogue that they say as I go around. But the dialogue, see, is it Montreal that do it? I'm not sure. But the dialogue that some of the characters have with each other, I'm gonna narrate that, because the game has a storybook element to it. So I thought that could be nice. As there are a lot of ASMR videos that are like reading videos, so kinda like that. So first chapter, The Girl and the Firefly. And the gameplay consists of 2D platforming mainly, but it's also an RPG, so there's obviously RPG elements like combat and health, mana, experience, etc. Also these platformy kind of elements as well. They're never very complicated, but I kind of like that. You know, there are secrets in the game and stuff, which if you pay attention you can see them. As it's 2D, they're not too difficult to find. Usually they're hidden behind the foreground or background, which is really cool about this game. I love the way, as you can see there was a cave which was in the foreground, you can see it. I love the way there's the background trees and stuff. I wasn't sure how you got up there, but you can see trees in the background, and that's really cool. And later on you see all sorts back there, like giants and just stuff like that, and birds and whatnot. It just creates some depth to the 2D design and makes you feel like you're part of a bigger world in a way. I really enjoy it when games have a backdrop or something like that. I enjoy it in games actually I'll stop here because there's a dialogue there which I'll read out. So she thinks she's in a nightmare because she died in the real world and she's woke up here, I guess, or dreaming here. Who spoke? I did. Shake the dew from your eyes. Before mold grows, that's common sense. A firefly that speaks advice My supper must have been too dense. Food sounds good, but I am lost. Ever heard of an aurora? Why, sir, she is me. Both sir and she a spirit aura. Perhaps you are some kind of flora. Cease your foolishness at once. I am aura. I am she. Oh, why didn't you say so? Follow me. A lady awaits, hair long as forest stream, with skin like moss and gleaming eyes. This is, she know the way out for sure. That actually went by faster than I could read at some points. So I'm sorry if I misread any of that. The dialogue, I was clicking too fast. As you can see, that's the giant I was talking about. I like that sense of atmosphere. Like it's implying like you'll see it later, which is cool. It's just teaching you here that about the kind of, I think they're health points, or or something like that. Because you can control the little sprite that you've got with you as well as Aurora. I keep saying Aura instead of Aurora. She's an accident. I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, the dialogue. This is pre-recorded, so when I recorded it, I didn't take into consideration that I have to read those parts. Yeah, there's very RPG elements, like all the potions and that. But I'm already a high level because I've beat it, like I said. I think the game is like, I'd say 10 hours long, maybe? 12 maybe? No, about 12 hours long. Yeah. Which is good. I think it has about the same amount of chapters as well. 12, I can't remember, it's been a while. But yeah. Oh yeah, here you get introduced to a puzzle element, which the puzzles are very simple. Well, this game reminds me of like... No, I'll say in a minute. Trapped, the door is barred. A scepter root, a translucent sphere. Clear as glass, the answer. So Firefly, ignite your rear. Whoa, I barely know you. Do it and I'll show you. But basically you can light up the sprite to make a shadow. Yeah, and also you might notice the dialogue always rhymes. Or at least softly rhymes. Like the end of the first sentence and the third sentence usually rhyme. Like the one after this first one, if that makes sense. So yeah, that puzzle was easy, just shine the light in the right place. But they're all fairly easy. But what I was going to say was, this game kind of reminds me of, what was that? There was a Disney film, I think. I think James and the Giant Peach. It reminds me of that kind of art style. It's very cool. It looks hand painted. So this is very like King Arthur. Take the sword out of the stone. It was King Arthur, right? I keep having Disney references. Though most Disney stories are age-old stories that they've made cartoons out of. But alas, that's not anything to do with anything. But yeah, you get your weapon there. And that actually made me jump. I have the sound quite loud in my ears. So yeah, it introduces you to combat now. It's very old-fashioned Final Fantasy-ish. So yeah, it's just attack, and you have free. You just it pauses combat when you fight, but there's this time bar at the bottom, as you can see, where it says wait and cast. And if you hit them during the cast bar, then the attack gets knocked back. So you have to be quite like smart about it. Try and attack at a specific point. So you have to think, can I stun them and make it so they don't even get one hit on me? And that's a good tactic to preserve your health if you're in trouble. And you can also use the little sprite with the right analog stick on the PS4 I'm using, but I believe it's on other platforms. Yeah, you can use the analog stick to control him as I'm doing here. And you can... Sorry for the pause there. You can hold L2, I think, to stun an enemy. And I'm struggling to jump up there. I actually wanted to fight that enemy, but don't know why I didn't want it. But you can stun enemies, and you can also heal your main character that way by holding L2, like above your character. So there's also that element of what's more important, my health or stunning them. So there's this like meta game going on there, which makes the gameplay kind of interesting. Makes every battle a little different. I mean, the combat doesn't really get that repetitive, because as you go along you're introduced to new characters with very different playstyles, and like I said, like you do die quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. I died a few times, like even on the casual difficulty, and like I've experienced plenty of RPGs. But, I mean, I guess it was quite easy, but you still die a few times if you're not using the game mechanics correctly. And I guess when I first went through it, I went on autopilot, and it just came to a few silly deaths. But I mean, it depends what kind of games you like. So you see, I'm on chapter 2 already. But if you want it to be challenging, then I'd probably go expert, because I don't know, like the only thing is like that a few of the end boss fights are a little challenging, and I kind of feel like on expert they would be a bit annoying, you know. That's a lot of time I keep it on casual or the normal, you know, because casual is normal on this game. There wasn't an easy. I'll avoid battle here because it's a bit abrasive, a bit loud. But yeah, like I usually go for normal in games just because sometimes you get like stuck on like a part and you think, oh, I wish I'd have picked a lower difficulty now. I remember with a game actually, it was Final Fantasy 13-2, I believe. Like the last boss on that I just couldn't beat, and I just didn't beat the game. Like I tried it so many times, I gave up. Played the game for like 40 or so hours and then just gave up on the last boss. And the game wasn't that good, so I wasn't that bothered. I was very that scared in you, by the way. That thing jumped right out of nowhere. I did try and avoid combat as much as I could because maybe it's not relaxing. But here you'll see the time bar work more how I describe. You see my character's on the cast bar. I choose my move at the beginning of the cast bar, and if I get to the end without getting hit, then I can cast. But you have this little mana bar where your sprite is. If that runs out, you can't stun the enemy, you can't heal. So you have to collect these little plant things down there. So I can do an attack, stun him, I should be able to hit him. But I decided to heal him because he's going to get to hit me no matter what. So it's a matter of switching and deciding when to do what. So the gameplay is very active. Like a lot of games, you have a long period to to take your turn. But this game only gives you a small amount of breathing room. I mean, it does pause when it's your turn. And you see there's a huge skill tree here, although really, you could probably put the skills in anything and you'd be fine. There's no like specific path really. You could choose to take one path before the other, but you know, if you didn't know what you were doing and you just put the skills in anything, you'd probably be fine. Unless you're on like a harder difficulty maybe. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, this video is only about 15 minutes long. Sorry about that, but that's the limits of my PS4's recording ability. So I wanted to show you guys this game, and I hope you find it relaxing. And I obviously did some kind of soft spoken in this video instead of whispering, which is different. I don't very often do that. I did in my Dark Souls video, I did switch between the two, but with my soft spoken I spoke a bit too lightly, I feel, and it sounded not very much like me. But alas, hopefully this was enjoyable to you guys, and yeah, I'll see you next time.